This your boy Pomatic. Welcome to Godspeed TV. If you didn't catch it, this your boy Pomatic. Welcome to Godspeed TV. Another episode. Today we're gonna go back in time, Ra files, and what is actually happening is Ra, the energy, the force, the law of love, etherical law of fourth dimension, trying to get you to the higher fourth dimension, is speaking to instruments or people, and these are Caucasians. Nothing wrong with that, but these are Caucasians, and due to the limitation and biases of their minds, he's trying to work around that to speak through them to you. So we're going to get started, but before I'm going to play something while I roll up. Let's go.
No, he's selling no gold chains. He ain't no broke, nigga. He got bricks. He's selling bricks, nigga. How the fuck is this possible?
By the iron law.
And while he's selling bricks, these motherfuckers transform. So next thing you know, you go from selling bricks with Lexus and drop tops and shit to walking down the street in this boxer drawers 30 miles away going to Jewels, going shopping. When you got a car, you walk right past your damn car 30 miles and walk to Jewels. In your drawers and your boxer shorts.
Now he walking. Remember what he's saying? He walking. So, I don't know. 100 miles to Jewels.
That nigga went crazy. I'm like, no, something happened.
He ain't crazy.
Shit, this some real shit.
Remember he walking, y'all.
Wow. Like that. Wow. I knew he went crazy, so I said, what the fuck happened to you, nigga? I know you went crazy. You just can't go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So he jumped out the bridge.
They say, don't say what you want to say, but I say what I want to say anyway, because when I don't say what I want to say, they say you should have said what they seen happen anyway. Pain by the iron law, nigga. Pain by the iron law. So I keep all this shit in my head. Rubik's Cube. Pain by the iron law, a domino nation, shiesty Haitians, mental Jews, 9-inch Rubik's Cubes, genetic godly rule, Egyptian scriptures confused, Air Force One Air Force, pick and choose, behold a pale white horse, time takes its course, he too hectic, second nectar, I saw a man, holy wars, cold swords, Satan's garage, 2 items sold, 1 doubt, 2 pride, 1 man sells 1,000 lies, holy Quran, low, self-disarm, I select a salam, will of Yahweh, so have it your way. 4th stage, engage, strawberry, red, green, heaven. Seas brown and black. China man, kill your head, suppress bullshit. Saw the pyramids, build with the wind. No friends comprehend, muddle thinking dark and endless. Planet great vision, stargaze. Solomon ways, force the course of heaven, you support your baby. Subliminal factor, sunlight, super learning, suppressed thought, supreme being, Timmerman classes, spill up the masses. Thinking thoughts. Abstract max of our Trinity methods, pain and issue, vitality. I see it in you. Do you feel it in me? It's the beginning of knowledge. Wisdom controls the mind. Bright shine, picture heaven in dark times. Elevate, create, design. My soul searching wonders of knowledge. As if I was a hungry child surrounded by stingy street scholars. Alcoholics, bees, past an ABC order. Looking at God trying to tempt son's daughter. Yo, we out of order. Pain by the iron law. Mount petroleum atom embrace these 60 degrees. Illustrates my face, seal outside men. How do I begin? God wanna know who hardway more in gin. The feather may I go there, nigga. Pain by the iron law. 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 Pain by the iron law, a domino nation, shiesty Haitians, mental Jews, 9-inch Rubik's Cube.
I am law. Our impulses are being redirected to one we are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness.
Question 104.1. Questioner, could you first please give me the condition of the instrument? Answer, I am Ra.
He finna tell this instrument.
Are somewhat less distorted towards physical bankruptcy and
to explain the description of the instrument, meaning is the person they're challenging through, and their ailments. And he's going to speak about walking.
Vital energy lost than at the previous asking. There is still considerable bias in these readings.
We say considerable bias is what they already think. Like this might be somebody who's in religion heavy. And due to the fact of being biased or brought up in religion heavy, even though you hear, you still got that biasness towards, like Rod talking, you thinking about a white Jesus. Let's put it like that, but he gonna get through.
4.2. Questioner, The instrument would like to know what is the optimum amount of aerobics, walking, and whirlpool exercises for the best condition at this time. Answer, I am Ra. We shall answer in two ways.
See, this what I'm on now.
Firstly, to speak to the general case which pertains to this instrument in varying degree. Each form of exercise is well accomplished approximately 3 to 4 times per your week. The amount of exercise, or quantified as one sum, is approximately 1 hour per diurnal period. We now answer in a second way, distorted in this response to the dual conditions of yellow ray, physical difficulty and mind complex distortion. The swirling waters then must needs be viewed as being appropriate 4 to 5 of your times per week.
Swirling waters is the fact that the body is 75% water, and if you're walking on water. It's basically telling you take walks for 90 minutes, do some aerobics for 90 minutes to keep you conditioned.
The walking and the exercising as much as is desired by the entity. The total of all these should in no case exceed 90 minutes per diurnal period. The yellow ray, physical body has been
yellow ray, yellow chakra. We all know what that chakra is, related.
Experiencing that which is called lupoid changes in much tissue of muscle and some of the organs as well. The exercise regains the wasting physical muscular strength. In some ways the walking is the more appropriate exercise due to the proximity of the entity to second density creatures, particularly your trees. How?
Think about what he just said. We might want to go back there. Walking, and particularly specifically because of the correlation to the next density, which is the trees. Instinct. So walking, what he's saying is walking pump up the instinct. What do you mean upright? Upright, you walking upright in correlation to the trees. So it's something about in that motion. Walk through the forest, church, please.
However, the habitation you enjoy does not offer such opportunity and instead offers the proximity to creations of mind, body, spirit complexes.
Basically what he's saying, the environments you in, nigga, ain't got no trees. You out west, ain't no trees. So what it do is put you in the mind prospect of body, spirit, mind, body complex, three-dimensional.
This does not feed the mental emotional needs of this entity, although it produces the same physical result. The exercise fulfills more of the mental emotional need due to the entity's fondness for rhythmic expressions of the body, such as those found in athletic endeavors, derivative of the artifact system which is known among your peoples as the dance.
Now twerking, percolating, the dance. He said similar to the dance. Kundalini raising the energy. Let's go.
We suggest the support group encourage any exercise except that which exceeds the time limit, which is already far beyond the physical limitations of this body complex. It is the way of distortion, but in order to balance a distortion one must accentuate it. Thusly, the overwearing of the body may, if correctly motivated, produce a lack of deficit, at which juncture the lesser exercise limitations should be put into practice.
It's when you're around here super swole, and you get super swole, and niggas be super swole, but when they get old, you know how that go.
Question 104.3. Questioner, the instrument has determined that the unwise use of her will is its use without the joy and faith components and constitutes martyrdom. Would Ra comment on that, please? Answer.
Now he talking about the martyrdom, the Jesus flick, the complex, the martyrhood, to create the enemy, to make an enemy so you can be the savior in this synergy.
I am Ra. We are pleased that the entity has pondered that which has been given. We would comment as follows. It is salubrious for the instrument to have knowledge which is less distorted towards martyrdom and which is rich in promise. The entity which is strong to think shall either be strong to act, or that which it has shall be removed. Thus manifestation of knowledge is an area to be examined by the instrument. We would further note that balancing which, in this entity's case, is best accomplished in analysis and manifestation seated with the contemplation of silence may be strengthened by manifesting silence and lack of routine activity. We
go in, the angels go out. Go out, the angels come in. When he's talking about supreme mummification, and in the Hood X Lick, we got a situation where if you want to save money, if you want to go deep into rejuvenating yourself, you lay back and sit there and go into beta RAM sleep or light sleep, and you don't move. And what that door is, you breathe, and you count to 10, breathe in, count to 10, breathe out. Once you're in that state, I can't explain the wake. But this is like going into a pyramid real quick. When I'm describing supreme mummification is like going into the pyramid, like I said yesterday, how they speeded up the process of awakening. They helped you get there quicker, like getting in the spot tub for a basketball, football player. They got a special approach to it to help you rejuvenate faster. So supreme mummification, sitting back, laying there, ignoring all them thoughts. You only think about the thoughts and see which one's your thoughts or which one generated from an outside source. Sometimes people do that and realize they don't have an original thought. That's how you know you're still sleep.
We may go no further than this recommendation of regularized leisure and desire that the entity discover the fundamental truths of these distortions as it will. Question 104.4. Questioner, is there anything further that we can do to help the instrument's stomach and back spasming problem? Answer, I am Ra.
So anybody got stomach issues, bloated blood and back spasm, back pains, finish it.
The greatest aid is already being given to the fullest. The encouragement of the instrument to refrain from the oil-fried nature of foodstuffs in its intake is helpful. Cheerful harmony is helpful.
Okay, so far we got stop eating all that fried ass chicken with all that oil and cheerfulness. Be happy.
The spasms must subside as a function of the entity's indigo ray work and, to some extent, the recommendations made in response to a previous query. The definitive refraining from overstepping the already swollen boundaries of physical limitation is
Oh, you didn't say overstepping your boundaries is part of your back problems. You bit off too much before you can chew. Let's see, because I had broke the tooth.
Commended. The infection remains and the symptoms are now far less medicable, the entity having chosen the catalyst. Okay. Question 104.
So in order for me to get off that too much I can chew or go to a different stage in this life, it created a catalyst. So I created a catalyst. And in that catalyst, I went through something to die and come back. And it's all good because Napoleon Hill, I found I see the light in darkness. But then was it the seed or was it you had recognizing what made you the light?
4.5. Questioner, can you tell us what is wrong with our cat, Gandalf's eyes? Answer, I am Ra. The one known as Gandalf nears the end of its
You're talking about their cat.
Incarnation. Its sight dims and the aqueous membrane becomes tough. This is not a comfortable circumstance, but is one which causes the entity no true discomfort. Question 104.
So he's saying it's going from the second density to the third density. When you got an animal and you spiritual or woke or whatever, you fast forward that animal's life. So next time he come in, he gonna be a human. He might be a dumbass human, but he gonna be a human. And then in incarnations, he gonna become a smart human. I say a lot of niggas out here dopamine pigeons, they turn on you quick.
4.6. Questioner, is there anything that we can do to alleviate this situation? Answer, I am Ra. There is a course of therapy which will aid the situation. However, we do not recommend it as the condition is more benign than the treatment. Question 104.7. Questioner, I don't understand. Could you explain what you meant? Answer, I am Ra. A doctor of the allopathic tradition would give you the drops for the eyes. The cat would find the experience of being confined while the drops were given more distorted than the discomfort it now feels but is able to largely ignore.
So he's saying, don't fix it if it ain't broken. Just the fact that you checking them in there already making them sicker, then him putting the eye drops in his eye and you got to hold him still is causing a shock. And he like, I'm already used to this way. How you going to make it better? So it's going to cause a further distortion because now he got to get over the shock in the same condition.
Question 104.8. Questioner, can the cat see at all? Answer, I am Ra. Yes. Question 104.9. Questioner, does it seem that the cat will lose all of its vision in the very near future, or is the cat very near death? Answer, I am Ra. The one known as Gandalf will not lose eyesight or life on most probability vortices for 3 of your seasons, approximately. Question 104.10. Questioner, I feel very bad about the condition of the cat and really would like to help it. Can Ra suggest anything that we can do to help out Gandalf? Answer, I am Ra. Yes. Question 104.11. Questioner, what would that be?
See, when you're talking to Ra, you should say, tell me. You just ask the question, is there anything we can do? Ra said, yeah. Well, tell me.
Answer, I am Ra.
Said in one sentence. You got to see how the question can be more harder than the answer. This is what I'm trying to display to y'all. The question can be harder than the answer. You got a genie right here. You don't know what to ask.
Firstly, we would suggest that probability vortices include those in which the entity known as Gandalf is a lengthier incarnation. Secondly, we would suggest that this entity goes to a graduation if it desires. Otherwise, it may choose to reincarnate to be with those companions it has loved. Thirdly, the entity known to you as Betty has the means of making the entity more distorted towards discomfort. Question 104.12. Questioner, could you tell me who you mean by Betty? I'm not sure that I know who you mean by Betty, and what Betty would do. Answer, I am Ra. The one known as Carter has this information. Question 104.13. Questioner, I'm concerned about the possibility of moving. If we did move, it would make it very difficult for Gandalf to find his way around the new place if he can't see. Does he see enough to be able to find his way around the new environment? Answer.
Now, he's been explaining y'all about moving and going into new homes and going into new energies and different energies. Now, it might seem like something like silly questions going on here, but you have pretty answers.
I am Ra. The vision is less than adequate, but is nearly accommodated by our keen sense of smell and of hearing. The companions and the furnishings being familiar, a new milieu would be reasonably expected to be satisfactorily acceptable within a short period of your space-time. Question 104.14.
Yeah, remember, he asked about a cat.
Could we administer the drops that you spoke of that would help his eyesight so that he wouldn't be confined? Is there any way that we could do that? Answer, I am Ra. It is unlikely. Question 104.15. Questioner, there's nothing that we can do. Is there any other possibility of using any techniques to help his eyesight?
See, it's the problem between a certain race of channelers. Just imagine what you'll be asking Ra versus what the fuck he talking about. Like, a cat, nigga.
Answer, I am Ra. No. Question 104.16. Questioner, is this loss of eyesight? What is the metaphysical reason for the loss of eyesight?
Now, here we go.
What brought it about? Answer, I am Ra. In this case, the metaphysical component is tiny. This is the condign catalyst of old age. Question 104.17. Questioner, with the drops that you spoke of that would aid the eyesight, how much would they aid the eyesight if they were administered? Answer, I am Ra. Over a period of applications, the eyesight would improve somewhat, perhaps 20, perhaps 30%. The eye region would feel less tight. Balanced against this is rapidly increasing stiffness of motion so that the holding in a still position is necessarily quite uncomfortable. Question.
Now, he told him, like, nigga, them Abdol's gonna have that cat dead. But we're gonna keep on going.
The physical distortions of the instrument remain serious. Further, the vital energies of this mind, body, spirit complex are much diminished, although acceptable for the needs of this working. This is to be noted as the lowest or most distorted vital reading of this all-important energy.
We'll pause real quick. Don't forget the cat. Now, there's some deep science behind the metaphysical, the how you can't see and can see. Those who know, those who don't. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mental and emotional distortions are as last seen. We find the will of the instrument, having been unwisely used, to have encouraged the distortions of vital energy. It is well that the instrument ponder this. Question 103.2. Questioner, what is the situation with respect to the physical problems with the digestive portions of the body that the instrument had previously? Ra, the yellow ray, we must correct ourselves. I am Ra. Please expel breath across this instrument's chest area. This was done as directed. Question 103.3. Answer, I am Ra. The channel is now satisfactory. we find the yellow ray, chemical body of the instrument to be exhausted, but to be attempting the improvement by actions such as exercise and diet. We may state that the infection has not completely left the body complex, although it is far less virulent. Question 103.4. Questioner, the instrument asks the question why she lost her joy in the recent past. Could Ra comment on that? Answer, I am Ra.
Why she became miserable.
The instrument made a free will decision not to address the physical catalyst causing great pain by means of the allopathically prescribed chemical compound which the instrument was sure would be efficacious due to its reliance upon the suggestions of Ra. Thus the catalyst was given in a more complete form. The outer service to others became nearly impossible, causing the entity to experience once again the choice of the martyr, that is, to put value in a fatal action and die, or to put value on consciousness of the creation and of the one creator and, thereby, live. The
Coming too self-righteous, holy rollers, things of that nature.
Instrument, through will, chose the latter path. However, the mind and mental emotional distortions did not give the support to this decision necessary to maintain the state of unity which this entity nominally experiences and has experienced since its incarnation's beginnings. Since this catalyst has been accepted, the work begun to remove distortions blocking indigo ray might well be continued at pace.
Meaning is, someone's trying to put them to sleep. Then they get back on their square. They watch demon wake back up. And let's see if someone's trying to put them back.
Question 103.5. Questioner, could Ra recommend work appropriate for removing indigo ray blockage? Answer, I am Ra.
We're talking about indigo ray blockage. We know what that is. The chakra we all know. Spiritual food we know. Let's go.
Recommend for the general situation, for in each case the distortional vortex is unique. In this particular nexus, the more appropriate working is in the mental and mental-emotional powers of analysis and observation. When the strongest and least distorted complex is set in support, then the less strong portions of the complex shall be strengthened. This entity has long
as above, so below
worked with this catalyst. However, this is the first occasion wherein the drugs to dull the pain that sharpens the catalyst have been refused.
Iron sharpened iron, sword sharpened sword. They say Jesus was coming back with a sword dripped in blood.
Question 103.6. Questioner, what is the...
Ra say, y'all be fencing too much. You know, fencing with the mask on.
Present situation with respect to our fifth density, service to self-oriented companion. Answer, I am Ra. This entity has, for some period of your space-time, been at rest. How?
Service to self-oriented companion, meaning is, he's saying she want to know it's her insignificant other, or service to self-person, or service to others.
However, it has been alerted to the workings taking place and is soon to be your companion once again. Question 103.7. Questioner, can Ra recommend anything that the instrument can do, or that we can do, to improve any of the energies of the instrument? Answer, I am Ra. This is previously covered material. We had outlined the path the instrument may take in thought. Question 103.8. Questioner, I didn't mean to cover previously covered material. I was hoping to add to this anything that we could do to specifically focus on at this time, the best possible thing that we or the instrument could do to improve.
You need to ask today, Ra, help me understand what you said.
Improve these energies, the salient activity. Answer, I am Ra. Before responding, we ask your vigilance during pain flares as the channel is acceptable but is being distorted periodically by the severe physical distortions of the yellow ray, chemical body of the instrument.
Yellow ray energy, yellow chakra energy is affecting this person.
Those salient items for the support group are praise and thanksgiving in harmony. These the group has accomplished with such a degree of acceptability that we cavil not at the harmony of the group. As to the instrument, the journey from worth in action to worthiness is arduous. The entity has denied itself in order to be free of that which it calls addiction *. This sort of martyrdom, and here we speak of the small but symbolically great sacrifice of the clothing, causes the entity to frame a selfhood in poorness which feeds unworthiness unless the poverty is seen to be true richness.
You say clothing, like this bitch be dressing like a hoe. She need to put some more clothes on, and because of these whole ass natures of how she dressed with the proper clothing, it's less clothing. She dressed like a hoe and he'll attract the wrong nigga to her.
In other words, good works for the wrong reasons cause confusion and distortion. We encourage the instrument to value itself and to see that its true requirements are valued by the self. We suggest contemplation of true richness of being. Carla had made a New Year's resolution to give up buying clothes for herself for 1 year. Question 103.9.
No, sweetheart. Don't give up buying clothes. Just put some clothes on.
Questioner, is there anything else that either we or the instrument could do that would specifically work on the vital energy of the instrument to increase it? Answer, I am Ra. We have come up against the full stop of free will. Question 100.
What he's saying is, it's an issue of will. She know better.
3.10. Questioner, in that case I have a few questions on card number 7 in order to finish off our first run through of the archetypes of the mind. There is a T with 2 right angles above it on the chest of the entity on card 7. We have guessed that the lower T has to do with the possibility of choosing either path in the transformation, and the upper 2 angles represent the great way of the left and the right hand paths in the mental transformation that makes the change from
talking about making
space-time into time-space, you might say. This is difficult to express. Is anything correct in this? Answer, I am Ra. Yes. Question 103.11. Questioner, would Ra comment on that? Answer, I am Ra. The use of the tower and the architect's square is indeed intended to suggest the proximity of the space-time of the Great Way's environment to time-space. We find this observation most perceptive. The entire mood, shall we say, of the Great Way is indeed dependent upon its notable difference from the significator. The significator is the significant self, to a great extent but not entirely influenced by the lowering of the veil. The great way of the mind, the body, or the spirit draws the environment which has been the new architecture caused by the veiling process and, thusly, dipped in the great, limitless current of time-space.
My bad, I had to go do 100 push-ups, now I'm back. We're talking about the veil under the Moses Act. I don't know what he was saying, but so far, like I said, I seen the face of God, so that means the veil has been lifted, and on top of the veil has been lifted, you understand whatever you don't like, you don't have to go through. Whatever you go through, you don't have to like. Like in Fences, he told his son, I ain't gotta like you. I put house on you, I put food on you, put shoes on you. Fuck you mean like you?
Asterisk tower. In heraldry, a type of cross called a tower cross. Question 103.12. Questioner, I am guessing that the wheels of this chariot indicate the ability of the mind to be able to move in time-space. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. We cannot say that the observation is totally incorrect, for there is as much work in time-space as the individual who evokes this complex of concepts has assimilated.
It's the water sign you're talking to, that's why they come up with the chariot. It's okay, but he just refers to Zodiac. To cover all areas, you gotta listen slow and hear fast.
However, it would be more appropriate to draw the attention to the fact that although the chariot is wheeled, it is not harnessed to that which draws it by a physical or visible harness. What?
Come up out of his lower nature. Nothing like ego, no nature, but just a lower nature. You know, we soft, it's okay. It's going higher nature. It's just a path. See, there's a lot. There's a big ignorance of evil and doing wrong, so and that's willfully doing wrong.
What then, O student, links and harnesses the chariot's power of movement to the chariot? Question 103.13. Questioner, I'll have to think about that. I'll come back to that. We were thinking of replacing the sword in the right hand with the magical sphere and putting a downward pointing scepter in the left hand, similar to card 5, the significator, as symbols more appropriate for this card.
Talking about tarot cards.
Would Ra comment on that, please? Answer, I am Ra. This is quite acceptable, especially if the sphere may be imaged as spherical and effulgent. Question 103.14. Questioner.
He said spherical and effulgent.
Bent left leg of the Sphinxes indicates a transformation that occurs on the left that doesn't occur on the right, possibly an inability in that position to move. Does this have any merit? Answer, I am Ra. The observation has merit in that it may serve as the obverse of the connotation intended. The position is intended to show two items, one of which is the dual possibilities of the time-full characters there drawn. The resting is possible in time, as is the progress. If a mixture is attempted, the upright, moving leg will be greatly hampered by the leg that is bent. The other meaning has to do with the same right angle, with its architectural squareness, as the device upon the breast of the actor.
Now you're talking about that blood that got shot, and how the angle of the light hit his ass when he was talking about that darkness, and he manifested his own reality. And by him having Indian blood, he got to be, careful about that type of stuff because he's more connected to the land. So when you say stuff like, so what do you do if you don't have a pistol? Why are you out here chilling? So when you seen his hand, his leg was bending, and the other arm was up in angles.
Time-space is closed in this concept complex, brought close due to the veiling process and its efficaciousness in producing actors who wish to use the resources of the mind in order to evolve.
Acting like you gangster.
Question 103.15. Questioner, I am assuming that the skirt is skewed to the left for the same reason that it is in card number 4, indicating the distance service to self-polarized entities keep from others, and I am also
stage. No.
Assuming that the face is turned to the left for the same reason that it is in card number 5, because of the nature of catalyst. Is this roughly correct? Answer, I am Ra. Please expel breath over the breast of the instrument from right to left. No. This was done as directed. I am Ra. That as well. Your previous supposition is indeed roughly correct. We might also note that we, informing the original images for your peoples, were using the cultural commonplaces of artistic expression of those in Egypt. The face is drawn to the side most often, as are the feet turned. We made use of this and, thus, wished to soften the significance of the sidelong look. In no case thus far in these deliberations, however, has any misinterpretation or unsuitable interpretation been drawn. Question 103.16. Questioner, our appropriate time limit for this working, I believe, is rapidly approaching, so I would like to ask what was the problem in this session when twice in this session we had to expel breath over the instrument's chest? Answer, I am Ra. This instrument is unaware of the method used to contact Ra. However, its desire was particularly strong at the outset of this working, for this working to transpire. Thus it inadvertently was somewhat premature in its leaving of the yellow ray, physical body.
Okay. Caught the Holy Spirit. He ran. He asked the question in his mind. And he heard this all the time. But he ran. He ran. I mean, he eased up out of it. I mean, he just... So... walk your way up to it versus run. Don't nobody get out the bed and start running. You got to stretch and walk before you run.
In this state, the object was dropped upon the instrument which you call the typing microphone. The unexpected contact caused injury of the chest muscles, and we would advise some care depending from this working to avoid stress so that this injury may heal. There is a metaphysical component to this injury and, therefore, we wished to be quite sure that all portions of the environment were cleansed. Since this place of working has not its usual level of protection, we used your breath to so cleanse the environment, which was a...
You're talking about me. The accident at work.
Trisk. Question 103.17. Questioner, is the reason for this lack of protection the fact that it has been a considerable time since we have worked in here? Answer, I am Ra. No. Question 103.18. Questioner, what is the reason? Answer, I am Ra. The lack of regular repetition of the so-called banishing ritual is the lack of which we spoke. Question 103.19.
Banishing ritual.
Questioner, from this I assume that it would be most appropriate to perform the banishing ritual daily in this room. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. That is acceptable. Question 103.20. Questioner, I don't want to overtire the instrument. We're running close to time here. I will just ask if there is anything that we can do to improve the contact or to make the instrument more comfortable, and anything else that Ra could state at this time that would aid us. Answer, I am Ra. We find the alignments quite fastidiously observed. You are conscientious. Continue in support, one for the other, and find the praise and thanksgiving that harmony produces. Rest your cares and be the merry. I am Ra. I leave you, glorying in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. Go forth, therefore, rejoicing in the power and in the peace of the one infinite creator. Adonai. I am Ra. I greet you in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. We communicate now. Question 101.1. Questioner, could you first